Good morning, everyone.
Good evening, the world.
We have
Hi, good evening. It's almost good night, I can say.
we have Kathy and Francis here, and they are in
Warm and nice Thailand,
Phuket.
Phuket.
Yes, Phuket.
By
I'm sure a lot of people are
the
jealous of
temperature out
us.
there. The temperature here in Maryland is -2 degrees Celsius.
Centigrade, yeah.
Okay, over there, I'm sure they were at least 10 to 20 degrees centigrade. So the difference is pretty distinct. But anyway, okay. So let's get started. Okay, thank you for coming on, and we are glad to have you guys here. Francis and Kathy are TE and COE 1. Okay, they used to be in Hong Kong, they used to be in China, now they are in Thailand. So first thing, tell us something about yourselves. Okay, let me start with Kathy.
Okay. I used to be a headhunter, and I had my own firm before I joined New Skin. I remember I was doing a major project, in fact, when I was doing headhunting. They had this mandatory provident fund system in Hong Kong, and I was making quite a lot of money. I was doing very well, and that project came to a close. And somebody told me that there is this business called New Skin. To be quite honest, I resented it. I heard about creams and gels and things like that, and I remember saying to my friend, I said, in my line of business, the candidates come to me and they walk to go for the interviews. I don't need to go and take the products to my friends.
Okay.
But then when my project came to a close, I suddenly started looking for opportunities because I wanted to find something that could compensate me. You know, I wanted to make $200,000 Hong Kong a month extra. So I have a very short list of opportunities that I could look into. So I asked myself a few questions. I said, where are the opportunities? And the answer came, it was in China. I said, what can I do to earn that sort of money? Because I want a stable income. I was getting quite old. I was 49 years old then. So I wanted something which I could carry on doing after my retirement. So I started looking around, and then somebody told me that New Skin is now going into China. So that gave me a big thing. You know, I said, okay, let's go and take a look at it. So I went in to take a look at New Skin, looking for opportunities. So,
Right.
so that's how I started going into it.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, I want to hold that story, okay? Francis, what's your story?
Okay.
What's my story?
What's your background? What's your background?
Oh, what's my background? Okay. I graduated from business school, and then I pursued a profession. At that time, the option available to people in my era was mostly being professionals. I either become a lawyer or become an accountant. So I, for some reason, decided to be an accountant. But also knowing that, you know, it's not probably something I want to do for a long time. So basically completed my articling with one of the major firms. At that time when I graduated, you know, getting a job and offer was plentiful. I remember having, you remember firms like Price Waterhouse, Cooper Library, you know, Deloitte, Touche, something like that. Those firms mostly have been merged since then. I remember most of us were getting like 6 or 7 or 8 offers by the time we graduated. So I at that time completed my articling with Price Waterhouse, and I was in Canada at that time, and I moved back to Hong Kong because back in those days China was beginning to open up, and you know, that was about late 80s, and then, you know, I remember talking to my friends. Right there's a group of us who came from similar backgrounds, and we were thinking about, you know, are we going to rot in Canada and become a chartered accountant for the rest of our lives, or does it look like, you know, there's more opportunity by going back to Hong Kong? No, if I can give a comparison, it would be like, you know, where's the opportunity today? Well, opportunity today is probably going to be in the Greater Bay Area, around Shenzhen. So back then, we made a decision. We're gonna go back and try and look for something, an opportunity, and so I got back and started my investment banking career. I started with a Wall Street Bank. At that time, it was called Bankers Trust, and most of us probably don't recognize that name. It's been acquired or merged into into Scotia Bank. Yeah. So that was my background, and coming back to Hong Kong sort of opened up a lot of opportunity. I started in banking, and then I had an opportunity to work with one of the wealthiest family in Hong Kong, capitalist family. So that to me was really attractive because I wanted to be young and successful, right? But nobody ever taught me how to make money and how to do the real deal. So being close to somebody like a capitalist family really opened my eyes in terms of what capital market and corporate finance is all about. So I spent quite a few years in that area of doing acquisitions, buying and selling valuable assets. We were buying things in Australia, we were buying things in Japan when they were cheap, or we were buying things in America when they were cheap, and and basically that's what I did for a long time.
Well, one of our sons is in finance. Okay, you might have to ask him. I think I've asked you to talk to him, Stephen.
Oh, yes. You met him.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Kathy, back to you. What happened? Next
step.
What
happened?
Someone told you about Nu Skin, right? Did you say, "Oh, this is wonderful. Let me join"? Right?
It took me a year before I understood it.
That's not bad. Some people years.
I rejected it very outright until what happened was I was doing a headhunting job, and one of my clients, he was terminated. So I had to look for a job for him, and I couldn't find a job for him because he was very highly paid. So I remembered Nu Skin, and I said, why don't you go and take a look at Nu Skin? Because what I did was my friend who introduced Nu Skin to me was telling me how well he was doing in Nu Skin and how much his income was escalating. I wasn't actually concerned so much as the amount he was making, but I can see the exponential leap of income, which I thought would be helpful to him. So I said to him, why don't I take you to see an opportunity? And you think about it, because he was a general manager of one of the largest financial services company. So after he saw my outline, he said to me, can we have a coffee? So I said, okay. And I said to him, look, I think this is an opportunity. If you're interested, I'm willing to let you join and I'll be your downline. Because he was very, very kind to me during this, this period. And he said, well, to be honest with you, I joined Nu Skin about 10 years ago when it first started. And I joined it with my girlfriend, and my girlfriend eventually broke up with me and took the account. So I said to him, oh, okay, in that case, why don't you join and then I'll be your downline? And he said, let me think about it. So he went back, he thought about it, and he said, I'm going to do Nu Skin, but I'm not going to join your team. I'm going to join my girlfriend as her downline. So I said, oh, so I said, no comment. I said, if that's the case, I'm not going to be your downline. I will join my friend's team. So that's how I started Nu Skin. Because I also see that the China potential was tremendous. I wanted to get into China. My reasoning was, I know that the answer is in China. I also know that I cannot go into China to do any business because I don't know how. And I don't know anything about the people there or anything like that. But Nu Skin can take me in those days to 35 countries. And since China was opening up, I see it as a golden opportunity. You've got a zero ground, completely virgin territory that you could develop. And I thought that's really what I wanted. So I started joining, and it went on from there.
How about you, Francis? Did you say, oh, wonderful? Let's do this, Kathy, right?
Pat, I was one of those people that took more than a year. I took,
You too, huh?
took me a long time to even understand it. So Kathy started, about 2 years before I did, and during that time, I was going through a lot of changes, and so one time I remember going to my first orientation meeting. I think in this business we were all somewhat impacted by these sort of initial exposure, and we grew attached to people who share the experience with us. You know what I mean, right? So my first meeting was with Vera Walters, and that's the first time I've heard about New Skin. Did I understand it? Well, no. Like most people, I I saw somebody, I saw a whole bunch of products on stage. I listened to Vera, and for those who are not familiar with Vera Walters, she's quite a famous person in Hong Kong. She's come from quite an extraordinary background. Was a careerist with one of the largest British banks, and retired, but started her own business in being a beauty. Branding her own business in the beauty industry. She's quite well known in the community, right? I know of her, so I was quite curious as to why someone like her with her stature was involved in this business that seemingly is a direct selling business, right? There's a lot of connotation attached to that industry. But what made me really curious is, I heard about her success, and I heard about people behind her, i.e. her in our industry called upline. People like yourself, I haven't even met you at that time. Right? I heard about you and said, wow, this is quite amazing. This business is somehow able to attract very, very successful people. And there must be something I don't understand. Obviously, the reason behind that is this company and this industry offers people an unparalleled opportunity, with a chance to shorten your career and become successful and earning money on an ongoing and continuous basis. So these are the benefits that I saw. And of course, by the time I came in, Kathy was already reasonably successful. She's got a reasonable team going, and I just joined in and sort of on the back of her success and fame, so sort of got involved like that.
So then both of you get started in New Skin, right?
Yes.
Once you saw the business, right? Yeah, okay, that's very good. See, a lot of times a couple will join, but then one of the spouses will be, what they call throw cold water on the other one.
You have to do a lot of planning to do that.
Yeah.
To enroll your partner.
Yeah, we've seen this happen so often. So it's very good that both of you saw this as a business and you can go with it. That's very important.
I think, yeah, one of the thing that was unique to our situation was Kathy started at a time when I was building a business in China, and I was spending a lot of time. I was living out of Shanghai for about 2 years, and I have an office in Beijing, in Shanghai, and Hong Kong. So I don't really have a lot of time to understand what she's doing. I sort of know she's involved in this thing, and so during this period, I was busy with my career, and she was busy, tapping into New Skin. And by the time I find out about it, I thought it was an interesting thing that she was able to achieve reasonable success in a short time.
Yeah, that's one thing that we find out very important, especially to couples. A lot of times you've been asked, what what's so important about working together? We have a common goal. That's the thing. If husband and wife share a common goal, that will help your business a lot. So for those who are listening and who have a significant other or husband or wife or whatever, it is very important that you work together to build this business. And it's a wonderful business. Now that you've been in this a few years, so there's really nothing like this. seriously. And I look at your lifestyle. One day you're in Hong Kong, the next day, you're in China, and then you're in Phuket, and then you'll be visiting your father, right, Francis, in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that was
Can't
that
keep
was a lot
track
of years
of
ago.
you
Yes.
guys. Very slippery.
That was before the COVID.
I know
So we were in
that
fact
really
traveling a
put
lot. And,
that really put a damper on our travel. We haven't gone anywhere since
Jan- February.
February last
yeah.
year.
We
We've been
went
stuck
to-
home.
Yeah.
Good thing we have Zoom. Now we can meet with our group like this, meet with you guys like this. It's very, very good, actually. So now let's turn into the next question is COVID-19. How has that affected your business?
Okay, maybe I can talk a little bit about that. I think that the biggest change we see in our industry, not only our business, is we're doing a lot more online activities and sharing opportunities and sharing products online and doing it on social media. That to me seems to be a major change, major change, even before the start of the pandemic. And the way the business is being built is so different nowadays. I mean, we're not very active nowadays, but if we were to do this business today, I think the entire environment is so much online than what it used to be. I mean, we were brought up in a culture that required us to attend in person a lot of meetings. We're doing meetings 3 evenings a night, 3 nights a week. And doing a lot of training, large groups, that type of thing. I wonder, nowadays we're talking to somebody younger, like millennial groups, which is many of our targeted audience. I'm not that sure that they would be interested in spending a lot of time in doing meetings as opposed to doing things online. So directly that opens up our reach to people that normally we would not be able to get exposure or connect with, right? It becomes a global market rather than just a local market.
Well, let me say this, okay? In the past, you got to have people, you invite people to your office or whatever. Do they show up?
Many show up.
Well,
Oh,
in my old days, they did because I was a headhunter.
I'm on my way, okay? But I hit a traffic jam. So sorry. All right?
Yeah, that's
Now,
very true.
Yeah, now we can do this. The fact that you are in Thailand, we are in the US, and we're talking business. That tells you what technology can do for us. Last week we talked to one of our downlines from Philippines. Her business grew 300%.
Crazy. Yeah.
You
Wow,
would think,
yeah.
with this pandemic, this will shut down the business. No, if you change your method of operation, okay, instead of let's meet face to face. No, use technology to grow your business, and I think a lot of people are doing that. And well, to tell the truth, last month we did very well.
Wow,
Okay.
wow. That's
You
great.
would
Congratulations.
sound like that, oh boy, everybody will be hurting, everything. Well, it's unfortunate we have this virus, except this virus sort of opened a lot of people's eyes. They make them more acceptable to our business, because think about it, you can start this business with no capital, or not no
True.
capital, but very little capital.
No.
Right?
Cell phone.
Yeah, you might have to spend some time learning about the product, learning about the business, talking to people. But other than that, what in your previous business, you think you can learn this overnight? No, you still have to, you guys went to college and all that in order to start your career. So a lot of people expect to come in and then make good money within, I don't know, whatever time period. But it takes time, right, to build an organization. You guys now can take it easy because what? You have an organization behind you. right? Not, how many people can have that kind of luxury? You can sit in Phuket and, hey, we are doing okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the most important aspects of New Skin, is you can carry it everywhere. You can take New Skin with you everywhere, no matter where you go. You can bring it along, and you can keep on recruiting everywhere you go. And
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah,
Being
precisely.
able to work with different people from different countries.
Yeah, precisely. You know, you're not limited to your local area. That's the one thing that
Right.
we found out, you know,
Yes.
with this new technology. It's
Yes.
really a global business now.
Yeah.
Especially with the online business, I think recruiting is a lot easier because in the old days we could only network in Hong Kong, and that depends a lot of how many people you know and what you have done in your previous life. You know? If you don't have any friends, then it's not as easy. But nowadays you can make friends on Facebook, on Twitter, on anything, you know, on WeChat, and you can get yourself exposed to a lot of different people which you are not in touch with. Because, for example, our segment, we're in the 60s. It's difficult to go and network 20s or 30-year-old people. But with the online business, then you can do that with anybody.
Yeah, well, she's been doing, well, you guys joined, well, last week, right? With the
Yeah. When we did
Yeah,
our
yes.
video week, yeah.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. We had quite a bit of people. Last night we did legs for ladies only. You know how to fix your
Well, sorry, Francis.
yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't
No,
join either. So
That's the good thing, you see, because some people are good at talking about the business and some people are good at talking about the products. So nowadays you can combine both. For example, I'm not an expert in talking about products. A lot of people can help me out on that side of the business because they can explain the products a lot better than me, you know. Whereas we're more focused on the business side of the of New Skin. So it's easier for us to talk about the business.
yeah, well, that's the thing. You know, you can just use whatever
Yeah,
tools or expertise you have. You know,
that's right.
your preference, you know.
Yeah.
So and then you can sort of leverage all these meetings too. You know, you want to train someone on that. Okay, join that meeting. You know.
Yeah.
So we have
And New Skin is coming up with so many new products all the time. It's incredible, you know. Every year they come up with so many products.
Yeah.
It's
Do
so
you have a
exciting.
booth, the new Hong Kong booth yet?
H-Lock.
Yes, of course.
Oh, we
I
had
like
it
it very
since-
much. I like
Yeah,
it.
we had it since third or fourth quarter last year.
Oh yeah.
Amazing
Yeah.
product,
You
yeah.
can have it early. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very envious. Okay, it's not available here yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I
we-
can sell
we-
you one.
Thanks a lot. How kind of you.
No points to you, no GP. Okay.
Notice. He said, sell you one. No gifts to the upline, eh?
But I can't give it to you.
That's how you
Hong Kong
make money,
market,
right?
we'll have a launch in April. So I believe it's one of the earlier market that would have a full release.
No,
Starting
they
April.
no, they just released today in whatever tomorrow in Japan and
Oh,
Australia.
yeah.
Australia.
You see,
Yes.
that creates another new opportunity, another wave,
Yeah.
right?
I find it so easy to use. You can just watch TV and you don't need a mirror.
Really?
And the result is excellent. Yeah. That's
Well,
very. So what's the next product that's going to come out? I wonder.
Yeah.
Any
I don't
news?
well, we have the Element and Life Hack, you know, Element
Nutricential.
and Nutricentials.
Oh,
You guys
yeah,
don't have that yet, right?
Usually they're having it. They
You're
have
having
it
it?
in Thailand.
I think we're having it. I think
Okay.
we're having it.
Now that's another line of products that, you know, very reasonably priced and
Yes.
very effective. You see results.
The
So
blue light
well,
Yeah.
you know,
action.
that's another wave, so to speak, that's just coming our way. So
Nutricentrals is great for Southeast Asia. I think it's.
Yeah.
No,
It's
it's good for America. I'm
bracket.
using it right now. It's because after you use it, actually for last night, our speaker Mina, she said all her spots went away. just by using the
Oh.
essential. Yeah. And there's bioadaptive. So we have now we all using the Zoom. So the blue light is attacking us, not just the, eye formula is not enough. So right now the
Well, iPhone will protect your eyes.
Yeah.
This stuff will protect your face.
face,
huh?
yeah, wherever you put it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
Good. Okay. So, well, in terms of time, let's move along. Okay. Well, okay. Now, since you guys were in business before, you can see, what the effects of COVID on this business and conventional business. Weren't you glad you're not in your conventional business? Seriously.
Yes.
I think one of the things with conventional business, even before we have this pandemic, is I see, the cycle, right, of business just gets shorter and shorter. Many businesses used to run, seems like forever, right? But in order to stay competitive and coming up with new products and covering a broader market, it's very difficult for a smaller size company to sustain that. So it's very difficult to be in business. Period. I think nowadays. It would be lucky if you're in business for a cycle of more than 7 or 8 years, and that's before the pandemic. Now, with the pandemic coming, from where we are in Thailand, you see so many small businesses which rely traditionally very heavily on foreigners and visitors, right? So when all of that stopped, and so many people are out of work, and their lifestyle just go totally chaotic.
I think Francis is right. Because I was in the headhunting business, and I remember when JobsDB, which is an online platform, came out. I immediately said to myself, my recruitment business is going to take a big drop. And with the pandemic nowadays, because I sold my business later, my friend bought it. I could see that it's very, very difficult for him because rental is expensive. He's still paying the rent, and then he's still paying for staff, you see. So whether you are getting any business or not is besides the point. But you still have to have all the expenses out, and yet business has reduced tremendously. That's the main thing.
Wow.
So we're very glad that this online business, New Skin, gave us, which when it first came out, we tracked on it very quickly. We thought that was the future. And New Skin was going in the right direction. It was very upfront and brave, I thought, at that time, for them to venture out completely different, thing, which is we thought is also a risk, of course, when you're trying to move into different dynamics. Then, of course, some people like it, some people don't. But we thought that's the right way to go for the future. And I think COVID speeds it up as well.
Yeah, COVID speed up a lot of things. Like if you read up, because you guys are in finance, I think New Skin in the US, we grew, like we have 20 or 30 T-Elite Platinum new this year, just the US market.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. So one thing is our business plan allow us to change our method of doing the business.
Yes.
Right? For the better. Seriously,
Yes.
for the better.
Yes. Imagine you have to go to the retail shop to buy products nowadays, and that would be hell anyway. So we're very glad, and they're improving the online business every day because they're bringing out different apps and different functions and systems to support it as well.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Very good. All right. Okay. Now that you've been in New Skin for a while, what has New Skin brought you that you find most satisfying?
Oh, there are so many.
Go ahead.
I think lifestyle and freedom of lifestyle is one I would place a great deal of emphasis in. Allow us to quote unquote retire earlier, right, and still afford a very good lifestyle. there are people that I work with closely in traditional business. They're still having to struggle looking for the next opportunity. And this is where you can just do well, find your own way of doing it. And once you become successful, you can basically write off your success thereafter, right? Without having to go through looking for the next opportunity. So we're very grateful for that, and the company having this opportunity available to us and everybody else.
I think with me is New Skin gave me two things. The first thing it gave me, which was most important to me, was opportunity. It gave me an opportunity to make whatever money I wanted. And I was the deciding factor. I decided how much I want to make, how much I want to expand my business, how much I want to grow. At one time, I remember I bought 6 apartments in Guangzhou in China, and I had to pay 100,000 Hong Kong dollars a month just in mortgages, wow. Which is about how much is that in US? I don't know.
13,000, 14,000.
Yeah, 13,000, 14,000. So I had to work very, very hard in New Skin. I became team elite. I became, I did 100 plus in everything. So it gave me that opportunity to decide, because in traditional business, you said, oh, this year I want to earn more. You set a goal for yourself. It won't happen because COVID came. There's a lot of environmental matters that will affect what you are doing. But with New Skin, all you need to do is the willingness to work and really go out and do whatever you have to, And the second thing is, I think, meeting a lot of people. Really, I made a lot of very good friends in New Skin, not just, what we Chinese call drink and eating friends. They're really friends because you know all about their families, their relatives, their relationship, and their likes and dislikes, and everything about them. And because we are working together for a matter of 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you get to know them so well. You know everybody, and you really care about it, and become very compassionate with people, everybody, because we're all getting older. And everybody understands we're all emerging into different stages in life. So, that journey, I think, is memorable. Because in normal friends, you see them sometimes, you don't see them most of the times, right? But in Hong Kong, especially because everybody is so busy. But if you can tie relationship with business, that's a very, very unique opportunity. And the third thing I think it gives me is freedom. We always talk about freedom. Nobody understands what real freedom means. But I think in New Skin, you really get a freedom that I could do whatever I like. For example, I worked really, really hard. I never worked so hard in my life. When I was into my 10th year of New Skin. And I did all that. And now we're taking a bit of a step back and really enjoying our life to focus on health and retirement. And yet we still see our team growing. And they are learning and picking up all the things we used to do for them. We used to be like a mother and father to them. Typical Hong Kong style running of the team,
Parental, she means.
Although I couldn't stand it, but you just learn from your parents and you became like your parents. So we were very protective. We do everything for them. We think for them. We plan everything for them. And now, you suddenly discover that once you take a step back, they've all grown up. And they're doing their own meetings, they're creating their own things, they've got their own ideas. And I think that's the joy of being parents. We don't have any kids ourselves, but we could see them growing. And I said, I never regretted not having children because I have my New Skin children. You can choose whoever you like as well. That's the good part. You can't always choose your kids, but I can. And it's such a joy to be able, for example, I think 2 years ago, on my birthday, they all came to Phuket with us. And there were 21 of them. And we had a great, fantastic birthday party here. And these are memories, And now, of course, because last year we couldn't come. And I'm sure when the situation gets better, they'll all come back again and we'll have another party. Yeah, and New Skin never ever leave you. So never think about leaving New Skin.
Yeah.
Well, that's precisely the point, you know, doing new skin. A lot of people tell you that if you do MLM, you know, you join the NFL club, not the National Football League. It's no friends left.
But
Oh, that's crazy. I
we,
think that's crazy. That's the
Nah,
that's
no friends
yeah,
left.
I really
No, now as it turned out, we have more friends than ever.
yeah, because
Right?
when
Yeah.
I first started, that's what they said to me, and they said, "Oh, don't talk to me about New Skin. You know, I don't talk to me if you're doing New Skin." And I said to him, I had this friend, I remember talking to him, and we were having tea, and I said, "I spoke to you more than 10 times about New Skin, and you still couldn't understand it. So it must be my problem. It can't be your problem, right? So I have to keep on going until I learn to do it well." So I will keep on talking to you about New Skin until the day I die. And he said, "I give up." I never cared about rejections. Everything you do, people reject you. So why should you worry about that?
Yeah, well, some people will join you, some people won't, you know, you won't,
It's
you,
okay.
it's
But
okay. I mean, you cannot
imagine-
convince everybody.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
Imagine if everybody joins you, you pass out. Everybody you recruited, they say, "Okay, I'll join. I think I will leave this business within 10 days."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, that's one thing about you guys, okay, the two of you. You're always laughing,
Very happy.
very happy.
Well, I think it's take life simple, make it simple. Don't be so complicated. I find that sometimes people do New Skin, they're so complicated. You need to decide whether you're going to do New Skin or not. And once you decide that you're going to do it, there's never ever looking back. That's how I thought. I said, you make a decision. So I remember on May 21, 2002, I signed my New Skin DA form. And I looked at this form and I said, "You're going to change my life." And there's no going back on this one. That's fine. Once you make that decision, once you make that decision, life is simple. You got to make it work, right? Yeah, it's like I said to some of my downlines, you don't divorce your husband every day, right?
Main thing is you work together, right? So yeah, okay. Well, yeah, okay. All right, let's move along. Okay. So can you imagine what can happen if you didn't have New Skin? What kind of situation would you be in? Well, you wouldn't think that way at all.
I would probably still working.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I think for most people, work becomes necessary to maintain lifestyle, etc., etc. We most part of our lives we lived in Hong Kong, and that's a very, very expensive environment. Somebody we met this morning was saying, you know, for the price of a car park, you can buy a villa here in Thailand.
Yeah.
And that's the reality, right? We lived in a very expensive environment. So for people to do well, then there's no option but to continue to strive and to work, you know, beyond normal retirement ages.
Yeah, I remember all my father's life. My father always said to me all his life, when you retire, you must have 20 million Hong Kong dollars. And I was going nuts. I calculated. I worked very hard in the headhunting business. I did properties and I did everything. I couldn't make that. So that was one of the biggest reasons I looked into New Skin. I said, will New Skin help me achieve this target? And if it does, then I can retire, you see. And I think it's the sense of security about New Skin, not only just having that amount of money, but having income coming in every single month. Because I looked a lot of my friends, they retire and they have maybe 30,000, 50,000 US dollars equivalent. But they worry and they don't want to spend money because it's called what we call dead money, because it's in the bank, it's dead. They pay you 0.05% interest rate, and you know you're not going to have enough money. And I remember in the early days, I always used to say, oh, if you have 5 million, you spend $500,000 every year, and then you're left with the last $500,000. Do you go and commit suicide? And it's a horrible thought, especially now that we're getting to that sort of age. We know more about things because some of our friends, they're getting ill, or they have a lot more expenses on medical, and they're finding money very, very tight. And by being in New Skin, we can afford to even help them out, or or help a lot of people. We're thinking about doing donations for dogs. You can do things like that because you know that next month I'll be getting more income coming in. And to actually spend spend money, just saving money, it's painful. I think you feel very, very insecure.
Sure.
Well, there's one thing, since Francis, you're in finance, a lot of people worried when they retire. The most important thing they worry about is what happens if I spend all my money, retirement money, I'm still alive and in good health.
Yes.
Then
yes.
what?
Yes. I think I will be buying Codatrol and nighttime formula every day.
The irony, in fact, the irony is the opposite of that. As Kathy was saying, oh no, I'm spending all of my money and I'm still healthy. Or I all of a sudden there's a family member who have a huge medical issue, right? Then you're having to sell your houses to pay for medical expenses, and that's, can you imagine that sort of situation would bring to the family?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Well, actually, yeah. So there's so many benefits with this line of business that it's just amazing, and more people wouldn't listen. Okay. But anyway, all right. So what kind of words of wisdom would you give to newcomers?
Well, I would say this. We've come into I talk about my experience. I come into the business knowing that it's a altogether new business, right? I don't have any experience in this whatsoever, and I know in order to be somewhat successful, I need to do a lot of transformation. And one of the challenges that I come across in my early days is to go out and create relationship. That's something that for me, I was not taught how to do that. It was not an easy thing to do that. So I think reaching out to people and overcoming a lot of times our own mental barriers about what relationships should be like, and how you should look at yourself versus other people looking at you. Having different expectations. So that is a transformation process that we all need to evolve, and everybody does it, and just take risks and do whatever is uncomfortable. That's probably the right thing to do. So my advice is to continue to learn and stretch. I think that would shorten the amount of time that we had to struggle in order to create successful habits and to achieve our team building objectives.
Okay. What I would say is keep it simple. Decide, determine, and succeed. Decide. Once I think you need to do some research when you first join New Skin. You got to learn about the company. You got to know what you're doing. I did my SWOT exercises to decide whether this is the business for me. What is this business? What is the background? What are their specialities? What are the advantages and benefits? And what do I want? Do they match up with these things? Does New Skin provide what I wanted in life? So I think the decision process is something I would spend a little bit more time on. But once I decide, I never go back and doubt it. So decide, determine. Determine is the second stage. when you're operating a business or doing whatever you want to do, once you set your goals, you've got to be determined to achieve it. So whatever it takes, you just have to work around it. Rather than bang your head against the wall, you keep on doing the same things. When I first started, I made a lot of mistakes. I was doing a lot of recruitment. They all came in and they didn't stay. So I said, it must be me. It cannot be them. And until I change, they're not going to change. So everything comes from me. So I learned what was it I was doing right, what was it I was doing wrong, and I moved on. So I was doing a lot better. I was leading the team, and the team was growing. And succeed is once you've got yourself, you must reach the goal you want. There is no stopping halfway. And my goal was, I said to myself, I must get to $1 million circle member. I don't know what they call it nowadays. The modern millennium version. I don't know. The CEO or something. I don't use it. I must reach that goal, because if I did not reach that goal, I would be a failure to myself. So nobody was pushing me. Now, of course, uplines always tell you what to do, but it was the goal I set for myself. And without achieving it, I think I would not have said that I have traveled the Nu Skin journey. Because I think Nu Skin is a journey of life. It's about meeting your challenges and overcoming it and learning to become a better person, that's all. So you can't avoid it. You might as well deal with it as soon as possible. That's how I see it. So enjoy your success, and that's the thing what we're doing now.
Yeah, enjoy the journey, yes.
Yeah. Very good, very good. Well, you want to anything?
No.
You have anything more to add? That was a very good. Those are very good statements.
Maybe somebody had questions. If they want to ask questions, it would be good
Oh,
time.
okay. I just wrap up by saying thanks for the opportunity to invite us to participate in this. I mean, we always looked upon you as our model. For people who are not aware of this, Pat and Marguerite have one of the largest and most successful organizations in Nu Skin, and that's the fact. I remember talking to Pat about, and he started to count every year, at the end of the year, how many Blue Diamonds team elites, CEO, COE1, COE2, Circle of Excellence 3, 4, and you have a what 25% share of the market, and to me that's amazing how somebody can start from zero, and to build such an extraordinary market and to account for nearly 25% of the entire annual sales of the company within your organization. So the point is, there's no limit, and thank you for your leadership and example.
Yes. Because what impressed me most is, you are up, I don't know how many lines upline. And what really impressed is not only do you have a big organization, but you're always kind and compassionate. When we're having a lot of problems, ourselves, and you were always there to give us a helping hand.
And not only that, I mean, you're still working so hard.
Yes, that is something I don't understand.
We can't go to Phuket these days, unfortunately.
Right? Yeah, we can't travel, so might as well do. Actually, not much. Only 2 weeks out of each month we just do product, because I found out, like galvanic spa. Since last week I did everyday galvanic spa, my face is so much better.
Oh yeah, you
if
look
I don't do
radiant.
it, if I, now this week is only doing the body, so I don't do the face as much. So I then until February. So, and also this is a good point, that if you have some distributors who are users, they buy the product, they hide it, they leave it in the closet. This is a good time to get them out to use it. So it creates more volume, right? Yeah. That's what I do.
Plus, we got nothing else better to do.
Yeah. So Pat started this interviewing
in March, I think.
March or April, yeah. I started doing it, and so it turned out it's pretty fun. We get to know everybody because we can't see you guys, so talking to you make us feel so much closer.
Yeah, well,
you're doing a great job.
This is
and
recorded,
it's bringing everybody together. Yes.
And we'll put it on our YouTube channel. You can show it to your downlines.
Yeah, you
Okay,
can
thank you.
one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I guess you
All right,
guys
so
want to go
question.
somewhere. Oh, okay. Let's see what the questions are.
What are some of the lessons you learned from previous failure?
And
Ah,
thanks for sharing.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think that we need to change. We need to evolve, right? If something doesn't work, don't do it 3 times, 4 times, 10 times. And for me, that sounds like a simple lesson, right? But it's so simple to be entwined in the process. But sometimes you need to jump out of that and look at, is there a more effective way of doing something else? Yeah, and keep learning, I suppose, and changing until you get the right approach, getting results you want.
I
Yeah,
think
learn-
my biggest, my
Go ahead.
biggest lesson which I learned in New Skin is before I used to do whatever I like. I was a headhunter. I could tell you what to do. You could change your looks, you can change your clothes, and they listened to me. But when you're in New Skin, it's completely different. They're looking for a leader. So when they first come into New Skin, they like the products, but they're not earning any money. So why should they stay? So that was the period of time when I just mentioned that I recruited a lot of people and they leave because I didn't know what they were looking for. They were looking for a role model of New Skin, I think. I think they're looking for somebody which they want. What would I be like if I was a New Skin person? Not just in products outcome, but as a person who works with people. So you've got to become a person that people like you. Like doesn't mean you cannot be stiff with them. Like doesn't mean you cannot be tough with them. But you've got to be reasonable and you've got to explain to them why you're doing certain things, especially if you're doing teamwork. In a team, you always have to balance different powers and different likes and dislikes. Some people play tantrum and some people say, why should I put up with it? And you have a lot of these human elements. I think you've got to be centered. I think that's the word, to be. You've got to know who you are. You've got to know what you are doing. You've got to be leading them with a goal in mind and giving them steps or path to travel the journey. And before I didn't know, I just say, oh, go and do it. And then they come back and they're all dead. So nowadays, don't make any assumptions. They used to say the word assumption is making an ass out of you and me. And that's the best saying because a lot of people don't understand what you're talking about because we all come from different backgrounds. So I think it's be compassionate, walk in other people's moccasins. Then I think you will be able to build a much better team.
That's good.
Well,
Yeah, I think that's, they thank
yeah,
you.
those-
They thank you for the answer.
Thank you.
Okay, we need to go, Pat and Marguerite.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
I know.
I know, okay.
Okay, so thank you
Stop.
for all your input. Okay, that's very nice. Good to see you both.
Thank you
And
very much.
okay,
We stop recording.
Let me stop the recording.
Okay, stop recording.
Thank you.